Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015. I'm your presenter for this evening, Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Now for the news in detail. Exercise Trade Winds 2015 EXTW-15 is the United States Southern Command U.S. Southcom sponsored training exercise held annually in the Caribbean. The exercise is conducted in two main phases. Phase 1, which is maritime focused, will be conducted on St. Kitts from May 30th to June 9th, 2015, and Phase 2, which is the land operations oriented, will be held in Belize from June 14th to June 24th, 2015. Projects Officer at the Nevis Disaster Management Department, Brian Dyer, outlined the activities that would be hosted for Trade Winds 2015.
There are activities that are spread across St. Kitts and Nevis. On Nevis, we are expecting 4 activities. There will be an activity at the Medical University of America. There will be an activity just outside the fire hall or the airport at the Newcastle village. And there's one at the Case Bay area, as well as Lower Bat village, maybe simulate a flooding incident at Lower Bat village.
With regards to how the activities will impact the general public, Dyer had this to say.
The activities around Nevis would not be of a major inconvenience to the general public. However, the incident at just outside the Newcastle airport, or the Vance Army International Airport, and the incident at Case Bay and Bat Village, there will be minimal interruption to vehicular traffic. Outside of that, we would have the general public exercise some caution. There have been some public service announcement that has been on radio and television for a few weeks now. So we anticipate that there will be some anxious moments for the community, but we want to let it phase and that there will not be any major disruption to the vehicular traffic. And with the excessive noise from sirens from the police and fire department, those will be kept to a minimum.
According to Dyer, the United States Coast Guard will be conducting various training exercises for the Coast Guard Division in St. Kitts and Nevis and also across the Caribbean. Training would include night diving to enhance the capacity of Coast Guards to put a stop to illegal drug and human trafficking. There are over 500 persons traveling to St. Kitts and Nevis to participate in Trade Winds 2015, which will bring the total number of participants to over 700. Trade Winds started on May 30th and will culminate on June 9th with a closing ceremony at the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium on St. Kitts. The penultimate activity for the Department of Agriculture's third hosting of Agriculture Awareness Month was the launch of its website.
The launch also represents a bold statement by this ministry that we are certainly on a mission. We are on a mission to ensure that this ministry becomes the role model ministry in the Nevis Island administration. We want to ensure that our ministry is productive, efficient, and transparent, and the reason why we are launching this website today.
Permanent Secretary Eric Evelyn used the opportunity to thank the staff and everyone at the ministry for their cooperation in making the website a reality. Director of Agriculture Keith Lee Amry, in making remarks, underscored how important a website is.
With this launch of our new website, www.nevisagriculture.com, we would be able to create important opportunity and a pathway to reach students, the farming community, businesses, and other stakeholders. I don't think we can stress this too much because all of the extension officers know every minute students are asking us for all kind of questions, asking for all kind of information. So now we would be able to upload this onto the website, and they will be able at the click of a mouse to get that information. So we are very proud that this launch is taking place.
Minister of Agriculture Honorable Alexis Jeffers welcomed the technological step and said it was a proud day for him.
I can tell you I had a sneak peek of it, and I can spend all day on the Ministry of Agriculture's website. I can spend all day because of the wealth of information that is there. And I'm now visualizing our stakeholders, meaning our farmers who we are associated with, in their fields on their smartphone, and sending an email to Steve at the or at the marketing division, and letting him know that I have a couple £100 of tomatoes. I can envisage our farmers in the fields and looking to see if their names are attached to the type of products that they have for sale that we are going to be highlighting on their website. So I bring those examples to you to show you how important this connection is, and this linkage is, and this type of communication is to the betterment of the Department of Agriculture, the ministry, and the betterment of the relationship that we're trying to forge with our stakeholders.
Blessings of the website was done by Pastor Wayne Maynard, and a tour of the website was done by Mr. Quincy Prentice of the Information Technology Department. The Honorable Alexis Jeffers had the honor of launching and making the website accessible to everyone on the World Wide Web. The URL is www.nevisagriculture.com. Earlier today, the Ministry of Finance started a 3-day workshop where civil servants associated with stock management received training through the use of QuickBooks. The training session is taking place at the UE Distance Education Center at the Department of Education. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Colin Dorr, welcomed the participants and stated the objective of the training session.
Over the next 3 days, we have started to seek to develop our stock management capability within the administration. And so what we'll be doing then is to sensitize those persons in the department to deal with items of stock.
Mr. Dorr also explained the purpose of conducting the workshop.
We have recognized over the years that the administration has spent a lot of money on stock, and we are basically tying up a lot of our resources in stock. We are using manual system, which in this current era is not a very good way of determining what we have on hand and being able to minimize the amount of losses to stock, loss to the various procedures, and also to ensure that the administration get the best out of what it has invested in.
Dorr stated that it is the ministry's hope that at the end of the workshop, the workers are able to use the techniques acquired at the workshop to enhance the efficiency of the various departments. The permanent secretary explained the expectations of the training session and outlined the final goal of hosting the training session.
There's a theory which is called just-in-time system, in that you order items run about the time that you need it. And it is our hope that over time we can develop our department to move to that type of system, and therefore to have lean stock on hand and have sufficient to meet your day-to-day expenditure requirements without being out of stock. Another part of this system which we are hoping to introduce, which is the QuickBooks system, is to be able to reduce the stock every time a requisition is made. That is, when the storekeeper or the stock manager, as we'll now call them, issue an order for items, the stock on hand is updated immediately, and therefore at any given time, supervisors, managers, permanent secretary can now determine adequately the amount of stock they have on hand and not have to rely on somebody actually going into the storeroom to count the item, because you have automated system.
The workshop is being facilitated by Alexa Pemberton and Joan Brown. Coming up, Culturama program of activities revealed. The details after this break.
Especially for the Culturama ladies. The nice Nevis girl living on. The sweet. Ladies, you ready? Come show me that you're ready.
Culture, Fit and Fun. Culturama 41. Culturama 41. Culture, Fit and Fun. Culture, Fit and Fun. Culture, Fit and Fun. Culturama 41. 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 Culturama
Welcome back. With just over 6 weeks before the celebrations of the 41st edition of Culturama, the Nevis Culturama Committee on the weekend released the finalized plan of activities for the festival. Abanati Liebert of the festival's secretariat notes that while the majority of the festival is similar to previous years, there are a few changes that have been incorporated to enhance the festival.
One of the new activities for Culturama 41 is a masquerade competition which will be organized by the members of the Nevis Cultural Development Foundation. Now, this masquerade competition will be between masquerade groups from Nevis and masquerade groups from St. Kitts. The competition is slated for Friday, July the 3rd, and it will take place at the Grell Stevens complex, netball complex, that is. We have reintroduced the Soca Monarch competition this year. It disappeared from the calendar of activities, but we have sought to reintroduce it this year because we recognize that soca is a big thing throughout the region. And so the Soca Monarch competition will be in two categories. First, we have the groovy Soca Monarch contest, and we have the power Soca Monarch competition. We are relocating the cultural food fair from the Villa grounds to the proposed entertainment park at the Pinnis Beach. The food fair has been at the Villa grounds for a very long time, and we thought of moving the food fair to give it some bigger space because the space at the Villa ground is somewhat small. The food fair has outgrown the Villa grounds. There are a number of persons that are requesting booths. Last year we had up to 40 booths, and persons are still requesting booths. So we wanted a larger space, and we wanted to create an atmosphere where we could provide a lot more entertainment.
The first of what is dubbed pre-activities happens this weekend with Bacchanal Corner in the heart of Charlestown. And next weekend, June 12th and 13th, there is the launch of the contestants and a bar crawl the following day.
The senior pageants would include the Miss Culture Queen pageant, the Miss Culture Swimwear pageant, and the Mr. Cool. We have 5 participants in each of these contests. 5 Mr. Cool, 5 Miss Swimwear, and 5 Miss Culture. And so we are going to be introducing those contestants to the general public next week, Friday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. at the ALE Evelyn building in Charlestown. That activity, however, would be preceded from 3 o'clock with Bacchanal Corner, because Bacchanal Corner begins this week, but next week, Friday, we'll have Bacchanal Corner, we'll have the launch of the contestants, and then we will go back to Bacchanal Corner, which would go right down, hopefully until 10, 11 o'clock at night. So we have a weekend of entertainment for you come next week.
The festival officially starts on Thursday, July 23rd, and the curtains come down on August 4th, 2015. And the slogan is Culture, Fet and Fun, Culturama 41. Log on to www.nevisculturama.com for the complete calendar of activities. The Department of Community Development hosted a staff retreat late last month at the Mount Nevis Hotel under the theme, Our Community, Our Commitment, Our Concern. Here is Fredicia Liebert with the details in this report.
The staff retreat started at 9 a.m. and saw prayers and devotions led by Community Development Officer Othniel Daly and welcome remarks by Center Manager and Chairperson of the ceremony, Greta Jeffers.
Community. A feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. Commitment. It involves dedicating ourselves to something, like a person or a cause. But before we make a commitment, think carefully. A commitment obligates you to doing something. And lastly, but not least, we must be concerned because it is a matter of interest or importance to us.
Director of Community Development on Nevis, Janet Maloney, gave the overview of the staff retreat.
It is hoped that the staff retreat will help us to 1. Gain enough perspective to reflect on the department in a positive way, 2. Sharpen our focus and clarify our priorities, 3. Boost staff morale, and 4. Gain experience to efficiently execute projects and deliver value to community members.
In his remarks, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Keith Glasgow, outlined the objective of the department.
The objective of the Department of Community Development is to empower people to understand and to meet their social and economic needs by providing a variety of educational and skill training opportunities and social activities at the community level. The department also aims to transform all community centers into vehicles for community action and development, and to provide education and skill training opportunities at the community level so as to enhance social well-being.
Glasgow's remarks were followed by a dance performance by Community Development Officer Tamicia Lestrade and the vote of thanks by Community Development Officer Tracy Paris. The retreat continued with various presentations by persons involved in community development here on Nevis and in St. Kitts. I'm Fredicia Labra reporting for the Nevis Newscast.
Thanks, Fredicia. That's it for tonight's edition of the Nevis Newscast. Thank you for viewing. Good night.